Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Mili reaction. Today we have a request from Isaac and my executive producer Q, and they wanted me to get to my creator, the Thy Creature opening theme, and that's about all I know on this one. I don't really know what Thy Creature is. I saw that it was a game and that's all I've got, so I don't even know what to expect out of the sound of this game. But as are the laws of this land, I must listen to it because that's what executive producer guaranteed Q is for, and I suppose without further ado, let's go!
Needles and string piece together our skins.
Oh.
A stitch over here and a stitch over there wrapped.
Oh, Mili. You and your writing. Oh, Cassie Wei. It sounds fairly bright compared to a lot of their other songs. But there's always time for that to change, you know? I wonder if it's gonna. That is a strange sound. Oh. Oh, that's what the first set of lyrics meant.
Series of reckless events. So why am I here? Oh, why am I here? Hey, why am I here? Just silence. I wish you were here. I wish you were here. You would have been so proud of my achievements.
Mili. That's, you can basically write off all of their stuff with just, that's Mili. That's what they do.
Over here.
Their stories are more often than not very dark. See, like that chord in there is like the most like diminished set of chord. Okay, a little intense, but I think it's odd how, like, generally positive this one sounds compared to other songs. See, like, these staccato plucks in here. These chords aren't depressing or hardcore in any way.
I'm here to accept your judgment. Are human faults, are human thoughts, are human flaws, 'cause you're never my God.
And again, there's storytelling, dude. It's always so intense. Even if the music is like supposed to juxtapose the message, it always throws me off whenever they start talking. Whenever Cassie starts singing, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, this is fine then. The world is burning and everything sucks, but hey, music. So this is a subject that Mili has kind of touched on loosely before. I think that this one feels a lot like Frankenstein. Like in general, that's what it feels like. The creature that's been patchworked together by multiple different sources and is now struggling to find its own purpose if there ever was one. And I feel like the creator is absent in this song too. Like the whole "you were never my God" statement at the very end, very poignant and very specific. Just like mentioning that outright is a very obvious choice. And I think that that's what they were going for here. This is a creature, a thing, a being that was created despite what reality should have been. end. Despite every law of nature known, the creator of this creature decided that it was going to make something, and therefore they did. And that's what was giving me that Frankenstein feeling, because that's kind of the story of Frankenstein, almost directly. This creature that was put together and effectively abandoned by its creator, only to struggle finding out its actual truth and being confused and scared and acting out as a result of that, not knowing what it is, who it is it a who to begin with? There are just so many questions left unanswered by Dr. Frankenstein, so Frankenstein's monster has to figure all that out. And similarly for this one, just the constant questions of why am I here? Who am I? Are very obvious. Yet again, Mili loves to either be extremely vague or extremely obvious with their messaging. It's really one or the other. I don't think I've ever heard a song of theirs that's kind of a blend between the two. It's either they're being extremely obtuse about the message, or they're trying to be as vague and ambiguous as possible, and you really have to kind of pick one for their songs. And that's kind of what makes them fascinating to listen to and try to figure out the stories within, because you never know going in what that story is going to be. Is it going to be super obvious? Are we going to be able to tell what's going on right off the bat? Or is it going to be something that needs to have layers peeled back to be able to understand what the actual intent of the message is in that song? And that's why I think the choices for what they did in the composition of this one is very interesting to me, because it's like, okay, it's brighter than usual. I'm used to hearing some bright stuff in Mili's songs, but a lot of the time when they have these subject matters that are being touched on that are very dark and honestly pretty depressing, usually they match that vibe by having that like more melancholic sound. And this one did have a little bit here and there. I would not necessarily say it's all happy-go-lucky, you know, like the composition isn't 100% bright and, you know, daylight, flowers, and whatever bullshit. It's not necessarily that. There are sour points throughout, but the rest of it is surprisingly optimistic. And I think that that is important for the storytelling as well, because I think that this creature specifically isn't necessarily pissed off. It's not angry like Frankenstein's monster was. It wasn't confused to the point of fear, to the point of I need to attack stuff because I don't understand what's going on and there's no other answer. I feel like this creature specifically is coming from more of a logical perspective of, I know I was abandoned. I know that I really don't have a purpose. I want to figure out what that is, but I have the mental clarity, the wherewithal to understand that that is my reality. And they're able to parse that information a little bit better. And maybe that's the point of this game. Maybe that's the subject matter going in. You are a creature in the game that needs to figure out who you are and maybe find your creator to understand. Or the whole point is to find the creator to kill them for doing what they did to you. It really could be either way. That whole aspect of a struggling chimera is very different depending on who's writing it and what goal they're going for. You could have something like Full Metal Alchemist that has that chimera feature and it's just like, oh, that really fucking sucks. They handled that in a very dark and unfortunate reality in that world. But then there's other ones like this that feel a little bit more optimistic about their goal and about who they are and what they're doing. Even if they don't have those answers, they're driven to find them rather than just being depressed or sad and not wanting to do anything to ruin the relative peace that they've built for themselves. There are definitely hard lines to draw in those stories because you have to pick one. You have to really pick, do you want this character to be like tortured by this reality, or do you want them to be motivated to find their answers and their identity in that story? You can have a little bit of both. I think that's what Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was trying to do, was find this medium where the creature was trying to understand itself, but it was just scared, and therefore we got what we got out of that story. And I think that's what this one's trying to do, is trying to blend those together and make something that feels a little bit more relatable to more people, somebody who could understand the sadder side of it while also wanting to search for that optimistic, like, silver lining, I suppose. So this is a really nice one. I really like this. I thought the composition, while not exactly what I expected out of this story, especially coming right out of the gate with what they said in the lyrics, I'm surprised it stayed this bright, and it made me interested to see what that game actually is like. So if the goal here was to get people interested in the game, they definitely got me interested, because I'm like, ooh, how are they going to blend that and balance that? Are they going to balance it well? That can be difficult, so I'm kind of wondering how good they are at storytelling as a game dev team. But I think I've said enough, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to request something else by Mili or any other person or from any other property, by all means drop in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if, like Isaac did, you want to guarantee something from me, you can always go to my Patreon or my YouTube memberships, where there's a tier that will force me to listen to whatever you want. It doesn't matter who it's by, what it's from, if it's good or bad, none of that matters. That's why it's a guaranteed request. But if you don't want to do any of that and you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!